Good morning, guys. I am still in my robe. Well, I wasn't in my robe this morning, but then I worked out. I actually went to SLT Tread this morning. Shit, I need to get my tripod. I love this bathroom so much, but there's nowhere to put my camera and then also have those lights that are on the mirror, which are amazing for getting ready. So I always have to put my camera on a little tripod now. Okay, so much better. I have to go to a fitting for a job that I think I'm having in like 2 or 3 weeks. And that's pretty much all the work stuff that I have going on today. I'm starting off a new vlog, obviously. I have to give you guys some apartment updates later. Probably the last apartment updates for a little while. One, because I feel like we've finally got everything figured out, but also because we're both kind of just over the decorating and having to buy furniture and all that. So basically what happened is I was vlogging last week. I didn't post or upload on Sunday. I was vlogging, and then I've kind of been in this like discovery phase with myself about like what I want to do next, and I'm gonna get into this in a second. But I was vlogging last week, and then I ended up like not finishing the vlog or not continuing because I just kind of had a lot going on and I wasn't really in the headspace to film or to like even talk about it. Not like in a bad or serious way, it just, I don't know. I feel like a lot of you guys who've been around for a while know that like once or twice a year I get into this mood where I just feel like I have to recalibrate a little bit and like reconfigure what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm filming, you know? And I've been feeling like this for a little while. But I think because it's just been a busy year and with the move and everything, like I kind of had to put things on pause. But now that we're back in the apartment, a lot of those thoughts and feelings kind of came back for me. And so I've been spending the last couple weeks really trying to like nail down what I want to do next. So anyway, long story short, I had like all this content saved and then I didn't end up filming it. So when I went to SLT this morning, I was like, oh, I can use some of the outside footage from last vlog, whatever. Sometimes we do this because it's just easier, you know? And then I realized just now that I filmed a lot of those clips on my iPhone and I deleted them last week. So that's why there's no footage of that. Coming back to what I was saying about figuring out what's next, I feel like I've kind of been at this crossroads now for a little while. I don't know exactly how long, but enough time for me to know that I like needed to do something about it. It's not that I'm not happy, because I am happy and I am fulfilled in certain ways, but I'm not totally satisfied about where I am currently. I feel like that's not even the right way to put it. Like I love my job. I actually love my job. Like it's crazy how after this much time in the modeling industry, I still love what I'm doing. I still love my career. But I do have this yearning for more. And I feel like for a while, YouTube kind of filled that, and then writing my book filled that, and then lately I've just been having the same like gnawing feeling at me that I need to do something more and that I want to do something more. It's not just a need, it's also just the desire to like keep learning and keep expanding. I don't even think there's necessarily one specific reason why. I think it's just a bunch of different things happening at the same time. It's the combination of my personal life changing, and I think it's also just a change that I'm going through as a person. Maybe like listening to my intuition more and thinking about like what I really want versus what makes sense with what I've already accomplished. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have a feeling a lot of you can relate to that. But then it's also like I was telling you guys in one of my last videos that July has been a really slow month for me, and that the first week that it's slow, like in a slow season, usually lasts like a month or so for me. I'm always like, oh, this is nice, I can take a breath. And then after the second week, I'm like, I start to really panic, which I feel like a lot of models and also just anybody who's self-employed can relate to, because you just have this feeling like, oh my God, I'm never gonna work again, you know, which is totally ridiculous. And in the back of my head, I know this. And even now, like looking at my August schedule, I'm like, I'm so dumb. Like I could have just predicted that this was gonna happen, you know, but then when you're in it, a lot of those feelings are very real. I need to open the door because it's getting so hot in here. So yeah, the last few months, especially this past month, I've been trying to just really lean into what it is that I want, figuring out what it is that's missing from my life, and also, I mean, at the same time, look at what's already in my life and see what it is that is fulfilling me, you know? So kind of coming back to what I was saying earlier about figuring out what it is that I want versus what makes sense. I feel like for a little while, I'm gonna be totally honest, because I feel like it's just easier for me to be honest about like what's been in my head and share it with you, because I'm sure there are people, I mean, I hope there's people watching who are kind of in my age range, who are maybe going through a similar thing in their life. Sorry. I've basically been thinking about how to pivot this channel into something that suits the person that I'm becoming, or the person that I think I'm gonna be in like 5 years from now. And that's challenging, because where I feel like I'm going as a person is becoming more private and actually sharing less. And when you think about pivoting something like this, it actually becomes more of the same, just in a different platform maybe. So I was playing around with that, and then I've shared a little bit of this before, but I also have been really interested in sort of going back to school. I have this really big interest in coaching and becoming like a certified coach. I know that coaching is a very general statement, but I can get into more of the specifics a little bit later on. I just have to finish telling the story before I lose my train of thought. So anyway, I've been in this place where I am like toying with these two options, and these are things that would be happening outside of my modeling career. Like I would still be modeling full-time. I also worked so hard to get here, and I just feel like I'm not ready to give that up yet. So whatever I'm talking about right now would be something that's happening on the side, but in the same breath is what I would likely be doing as my full-time career later on in life, you know? When this maybe isn't serving me anymore, or when my priorities changed, or you know, maybe I want to have a little bit more stability or control, because if you guys know anything about modeling, it's very little of both. And that's another thing that I realized throughout this past month, and reflecting on the positives and the negatives. I feel like this is one of the best things about modeling, is you are exposed to so much, but you're also exposed to a type of work that not a lot of people are exposed to, in the sense of having to wait for paychecks, not knowing when you're going to work next, not knowing when you're getting paid next, not having any control or very little control over when you're getting booked or who's booking you, you know? And so that's also something that is like kind of been weighing in my decision. It's like, those are some things that I would love to actually have control over in the next phase of my life, you know? I feel like I haven't seen my hair this straight in a while. I never straighten my hair, I just blow it out, but because I washed this yesterday and I have to work tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna have to wash it tonight so it's fresh for work. Just figured I would straighten it really quick for this fitting. It's so much better. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was getting like so warm in my cheeks. But anyway, long story short, those are kind of the two pathways that I've been considering. What I've realized is that I don't want to pivot this platform into something else, at least not right now. I have such a hard time talking about this and like actually putting it out on the internet, because I just have this fear of like not sticking to my word or not doing what I'm gonna say, and like that's always kind of been something that I worry about. But I also think I kind of have to, because I know that I would want to watch someone who's kind of been in this transition phase, you know? After considering like what it would take to do that and what the outcome would be and how much work it's gonna be, it's not something that I want to invest my time in. It's kind of like that saying, you know, it's kind of cliche, but like if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And that's how I was feeling toward this specific pathway, is like, I know how much work it has been to build this channel and to edit and upload videos every week, multiple times a week, some years, get it to where it is today, and then having to like pivot that and put in more time and effort to kind of have the same result is just not worth it to me, and it's not like exciting to me. That's not to say that YouTube doesn't excite me anymore, but I just think that that's not true to who I am and where I'm going. I think that I actually ultimately am leaning in a direction of being more private, doing something that's more like mentally and emotionally fulfilling for me. Again, I don't want to say that this is not fulfilling, because it has been, and I think it still is for me, but I just want to do more. Like, I want to work with people. I want to create something that doesn't have to do with social media necessarily. And again, that's not me putting down anybody who is doing that and who is going after a social media career. It's just something that I don't see myself doing forever. It's not something that's going to fulfill me forever, you know? So what I ended up choosing is actually going back to school, kind of. I say kind of because it's not actually like me signing up for a bachelor's degree or anything like that. For those of you who don't know, I never went to college or university. I moved straight to New York for modeling. But I did enroll myself into an executive coaching program, and I started this week on Monday. Also, funny enough, this is actually where I did have one of those aha moments, and I knew that it was a hell yes, because I had ordered some coaching books probably like a year ago, and I didn't read them. I read one of them, like maybe 2 chapters, and then I put it away and I never looked back to it. Sometimes that happens, right? Like a book finds you when you need it the most. So anyway, I grabbed this book from above the fridge and I started reading in it, and within the first chapter I just had this moment of like, I know that this is what I want to do next. I'm not going to promise myself that this is the end all and be all, but I know in my gut that this is like the next thing that I need to do. And it was just something that I couldn't stop thinking about it. Obviously, it's still very early days. I mean, I had my first class this week, and I've only really been like researching into this for about a month now and studying, but it's been very fulfilling so far, and it's kind of filled that missing piece that I was looking for, which is just the mental component. I think I was really craving learning, and I've always known that I wanted to do something with people. I'm just gonna take you guys to the living room where it's actually cool, because I feel like I'm still so hot in this bathroom. But anyway, I'm so excited. I wasn't sure if I was gonna share it right away or if I was gonna just tell you guys afterwards, but I have a feeling this is just gonna become like quite a big part of my week in terms of classes and studying, and also just like my learning. And it's something that I think I want to share with you, not just like what I'm learning, but also me going through this transition and just like how I'm dealing with it, because I don't know, I wish I kind of shared more of it in July when I was in it, but I also just kind of get down a little bit. And I know that I'm not the only one, but I don't know, it like kind of messes with your confidence, and it messes with like how you feel about yourself and your career. I think another thing that is important to mention, especially for models, is that when you're first getting into the industry, you have this idea that you're gonna be like a supermodel, or you're gonna be like the best of the best, and that you're gonna hit all these points and stuff, you know? And then as you get older, I don't want to say those dreams aren't as realistic, but at least for me, like I've come to realize my value outside of those big milestones. And like, first of all, those milestones don't happen to everybody and they're not meant for everybody, you know? And that's like not, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people see that as like a self-limiting belief, but I think it's actually a strength because you're able to be honest with yourself, you know? And I think a big thing about like getting to the root of who you are and like your purpose and what you're meant to be doing is like being honest with yourself about what is working and what's not, you know? But I was telling my therapist this, I think part of how I was feeling last month too is like coming to terms with the fact that, you know, when I started YouTube, I thought maybe one day I was like gonna blow up and become like this TV personality or this YouTube personality or whatever. I'm just like being totally candid right now. But as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that that's just not necessarily what I want. It's not necessarily who I am. And that's okay, you know? Like just because I didn't achieve those things doesn't mean that I wasn't successful. Doesn't mean that I'm not, you know, good at what I'm doing. It just means that I am changing and I'm evolving and maybe even getting closer to who I actually am. You know what I mean? So anyway, I feel like I've talked a lot. I actually need to, what time is it? I need to get ready and head to my fitting, but more on this later. I'm excited to take you guys along and just give you little updates along the way. And speaking of updates, we're gonna do some apartment updates when I get back because we ended up getting the benches and we also ended up getting some cushions for the benches too. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Just got home. I ordered food. I actually ordered it while I was still on the way home, just so it would get here by the time I got back. I'm so hungry. Normally I wouldn't do this. I would just cook for myself. Holy shit, that scared the crap out of me. I thought it was a bug, but it's just a crumb. Yeah, normally I would just try and cook something, but I have to catch up on a few classes because I am not joining at the beginning. I'm joining like not even a quarter of the way through. They just started last month, but I want to like catch up so that it can be as if I started with everyone else. So I'm gonna do that right now while I eat, and then I'll chat to you guys later. So I haven't even shown you guys the benches yet, but this is our little sitting area. I still have to cut those tags off and I have to steam this. I think I can steam it. But these just came in. Avery ordered them yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago from Amazon. The benches are also from Amazon. Actually, those bins under there are Amazon too, so I'll link it all. But this is our little sitting nook. I don't have the table there right now because I was just putting this together, but yeah, I am completely in love with this area. I've been sitting here since the day we got the benches and I have not sat on the couch since, basically. I just love this nook so much and I'm so glad it worked out the way we wanted it to. The benches couldn't be more perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of room here, but honestly, finding a bench that fit exactly in this corner was really tough. And these are super sturdy. They were very inexpensive considering they're bamboo, and even though they're a lighter color wood than the legs of the table, they go together seamlessly pretty much. So yeah, I just love it. The other thing that we ordered is this little standing lamp. It's actually cordless, but it does come with a charger, and it gets pretty bright. I mean, you can't really tell now, but let me just turn it off. It has two different tones as well. But we ended up getting rid of the big light that I had for my old place because it just didn't go. It stuck out too much and wasn't the right height to go with this setting. So we sold it, and then we just got this to have for at night, like just like in the meantime. I mean, this might just be what we end up having. We just needed a little bit of extra light in this corner at nighttime, or if it's like early in the morning and I need to be on my computer or something. So I'm probably just gonna keep this here. And it kind of blends in with the black here too, which is nice. I forgot to end off the vlog the other night. I'm editing it right now and I didn't film an outro. So I'm gonna end it off here. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a few days later now. I was thinking of maybe continuing it this week, but there's just been a lot going on. Too much construction and not enough fun events to share with you. So this is gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this more chatty vlog, and it was probably one of more chatty. It was definitely more of a chatty vlog than anything, but I'm gonna start another one this weekend and we'll probably have more like fun things going on. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave me a comment or a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.